Hello, welcome back. Today's video brings you my medical journey because I would not be me without yabbering on about the ordeals I have had with the NHS. I'm just going to put a disclaimer out there. I am beyond grateful for the NHS system, that we are able to have this in the UK, and I'm very lucky and I'm aware that I'm lucky. However, I'm not lucky with the things that they choose to diagnose me with. So before I get into the nitty gritty, I'm just going to give like a few key terms because, you know, you've got to be up with the lingo. First up is functional neurological disorder. I'm going to read it from my little screen over here because, you know, I ain't got memory and I ain't going to act like I do. So functional neurological disorder is basically, in a non-scientific, dumbed down version for me to explain to others, it is basically where there is something wrong with the way your nervous system, your neurology within your body is functioning, and it's not because there's necessarily anything wrong with your nerves or your brain, but there's like the communication. It's like calling a number that doesn't exist and like nothing's happening on the other end. The next keyword we have is PoTS. PoTS stands for postural tachycardia syndrome, and basically PoTS is when your heart rate really increases as you basically change your posture in any sort of way. So like me doing this, like that makes me dizzy. It's very common in young girls, typically like going through puberty, and most people like grow out of it, so they say. And usually like in taller, athletic peeps. The last word is migraines, which I currently have right now. So there's so much information out there at the moment about migraines, but there is also none at all. So there are many types of migraines. There's migraine with aura, there's migraines without aura. I know there's something called like hemiplegic, and then you can obviously get tension headaches, stuff like that. So I asked a few people within the FND PoTS community and migraine and all that cardio. I just asked a bunch of people, and I asked on Instagram for a few questions or like common misconceptions, and I'm just gonna come here to tell you all about it. So the first thing that people, including myself, want the union to know is that, first of all, take us seriously. Like, I don't think you realise how humiliating it is to be in pain every day. Like, it's actually sad. You are already you already feel like you're gaslighting yourself when you go to the doctors. So it's not very helpful to then feel like you're also gaslighting yourself in front of your friends. If you ask me, they're just not friends if they gaslight you. But like many other things, all these like neurological chronic pains, the main thing about them is it's different every day, it's different for every person, and some days we have good days and some days we have bad days. And if you're going to be around us, you just have to understand. Like, it's not difficult. And some days we can cope, some days we can't cope at all. It's kind of hard because when you have had all these like symptoms since you're like, in my case, 12, I very much used to be a hypochondriac, and I would search and search and search. I literally had a medicine book, I literally had an anatomy book. I was so in it, and I just said to everyone that I wanted to be a doctor, which was slightly true, but I don't want to be a doctor anymore. But I would love to be an parent anyway. It's quite hard to maintain like a positive aura in the sense of like being certain and knowing what you're going through, because you could literally go to an appointment and one day you'd be told it's definitely FND, and then you go back the next day and they're like, oh, it could just be a little bit of nerve damage, let's test it. That was the first one I got from like mainly FND groups and PoTS support groups. Like, we just want people to know that no one feels the same in terms of like, our symptoms are not the same, so don't judge us by our symptoms. This is a personal ick from me. I can't stand having to explain myself to people classified as friends. The kind of questioning about how I go about things, and it's like, it's not your illness. You've not had this problem for like a decade. Like, I've literally been in and out of hospital for a decade. It's painful. We usually come to you just to be heard, because most of the time we go to the doctors, we are not heard. We don't get heard. We only get heard when it's too late, typically. The next misconception: the stigma around non-epileptic seizures. So this topic kind of comes from one lady that I was talking to, and I was like completely relating with her, because she was saying about how she will have a fit in like a somewhat of a public place, and people will assume that she's just on drugs or alcohol, stuff like that, and it's like not. People don't see the severity in the situation because it's not an epileptic seizure, it's not dangerous, all of these things. When in reality, you don't know, you know it's not a brain electrical fault majority of the time, but there is one. You never know. It's very likely for someone to have FND and epilepsy. It's very likely, and people don't know that. You should respect your friends' wishes. I don't even know why I have to say that out loud. But there are some people that are like, why do I have to call an ambulance after 5 minutes if we know you're just going to go there and be fine? I don't want to go to hospital, but if I've potentially had an actual seizure that actually messes up my brain neurologically, and when I wake up I'm going to be paralysed, I would like to think maybe if I'd been seizing for 5 minutes that I would have been in a safe place to prevent all these precautions happening. So that's another one. I've just realised I'm only really doing misconceptions because I love a good rant, or rant as some people like to say. There's this whole debate at the moment about FND being completely psychological and physiological, I think, and then it being like due to real causes such as neurology and muscles and all of that jazz, and brains and internals. There is such this debate about, basically, in the grand scheme of like basic words, is it real or is it fake? And within the real and fake, is it fake physically but real mentally, or is it real internally and I don't know, you know what I'm trying to say. There's this whole agenda about like where FND comes from and all of this, and they always just say that basically it's down to trauma or down to like a psychological event that's happened, or anxiety, depression, all these sort of things, which I'm not saying it's not, but it's not a one fits all tick box. Before even like, I've not had the categorical like you're definitely FND, because they're still trying to make sure that I'm not epileptic or anything else. But before you have that like that FND diagnosis, they're already in there assuming you're like you're having a breakdown, which really doesn't sit right with me. I was in hospital for 5 days at this point. Went in without seizures. I literally went in because I had a really bad migraine for 10 days and I was feeling numb and feeling sick, all these things that I don't usually get all that often. So just getting checked over, and they thought I was having a brain bleed potentially. So obviously stayed, and then the next morning they gave me drugs I told them that I can't have, and then I started seizing. And it wasn't until the last day that the woman was like, you can stop faking it, Alicia, like we know you just don't want to go to uni. Should I get a psych person down? Let me get a psych person. The psych person's coming to you. Is it okay if we refer you to like the neuropsychology bit? Blah, 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 blah. And then she gave me, what's that medicine called? She gave me that medicine, I'm gonna put it up here because I can't remember, that basically makes you really drowsy and fall asleep and out of it. And she had someone watch me because I couldn't be trusted by myself because I kept faking the seizures. And it's like, I don't think you realise, darling, but like, I would very much like to live a normal life. Instead of assuming that people are faking and then start to take them seriously, you should just take them seriously until there's nothing to be taken seriously. Like, is it that hard? Because you can't tell me that there is no specific reason why my heart compared to everyone else's heart beats way quicker when I change posture. Like, there has to be something between all the people that have PoTS that they will have that one minute thing in common. Like, it could be something as far as alignment, something like that. And it just seems really weird with like how advanced the technology is and the world is. Like, how are we not finding solutions to these problems that aren't killing us, but they're mentally and physically driving us down, which then makes us fit that criteria of having breakdowns and psycho episodes. Like, and I feel like that's also something like some doctors just don't appreciate, is that like we might come off depressed or anxious or all of this, but it's because we're so bored of being misunderstood. So yeah, that's my views, that's my chat. I didn't really talk about migraines because I have one. I'm thinking of making a podcast just because I really enjoy chatting utter bullshits to myself. There is something about talking to myself which I find really entertaining because I make myself laugh. So let me know what you think about making a podcast. And I've already made the cover of it, and I made this like 2 months ago. But like, I don't know if I'm actually going to follow through, because most of the time I don't follow through on my ideas because the ADHD is ADHD. For the gang with FND, PoTS and migraines and all stupid illnesses, I've got your back, don't you worry. And that is all I have to offer. I'm sure I'll be back with a rant point 2 or a podcast. You don't know which one we're going to get at this rate, because Alicia just gets excited. I see something new and I run. Now stop yabbering. Let me know if you like this video. Comment anything, comment any questions, comment all sorts. I'm open, on board. Talk to me. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one.